Welcome everyone, I'm Cortland Kerr, and I'm going to tell you the first time on a solo paddling trip. I call it the Curse of the Kerr, a tale of adventure and blunder. To all my friends back home, I'm quite the outdoorsman. I like to hike, canoe, kayak, fish, climb, and kind of do anything outdoors. I used to be a canoe guide and a wilderness first aid instructor, so with all my friends, I'm usually the one to make a decision, build a fire, or set up a tarp when we go camping. I'm the outdoorsy one to them. But there was a time in my life where I didn't have these skills, and that's what we're going to explore in this story. What can go wrong if you don't know what you're doing in the outdoors? I was 21 years old, and I needed more of a challenge. Going with my friends just wasn't enough. I was also at a point in my life where I needed to spend some time alone. So a solo kayak trip was just a ticket. I grabbed an old PFD, a green dry bag, and threw everything that I could. I also hopped in my Canadian Tire kayak. The destination was Owlet Lake. I knew the area fairly well because I spent most of my summers in the day areas, never going off the beaten path. That was all about the change. I went to the south end of the lake and departed. I skirted the south shore and headed the lake about 3 kilometers to a beautiful beach that I now call Blunder Bay. When I was 21, I didn't own a tent. I was too cheap to buy one and maybe a bit too macho at this point in my life. I saw a movie earlier that year called Jeremiah Johnson, and in that movie, they built a fire, and what they did with that fire was kind of a game changer, so that's what I did. With this fire, they buried it, so I started digging a hole, and I built a fire inside that hole. Now the fire wasn't very big, and I was trying to make it bigger, because I didn't really know much. I wasn't able to get it as big as I wanted it. Evening was soon approaching, and I was having some trouble and starting to get a little nervous because without a tent or a good fire, I was going to be kind of cold. So I had a brilliant idea. I would spray it with bear spray. Now, it seemed like a good idea, but it wasn't. So after spraying one good blast on the fire, the next thing that happened was, well, eye-opening or maybe eye-closing. All that bear spray went back on my face, and I didn't put 2 and 2 together, so I went to the water to wash it off, failing to realize that water and oil don't mix, and all that bear spray went into my eyes. It was terrible. All I could really do was to hold my face for an hour. During that time, I thought, well, I'll just go back home. I'll paddle back. But I didn't realize that 1, I'm blind, 2, I can't navigate at night, and 3, the park gates are closed, so I was stuck there. After about an hour of holding my eyes, I was able to slowly keep them open, just enough to see around, but my eyes were still in excruciating pain. So I went to go blow on my fire to build it up. Now, if you've ever blown on a fire, you know that when you add oxygen, it starts to hurt quite a bit. And if your face is already burning, well, it's going to hurt a whole lot more. And that's what happened to me. Sure enough, though, I got the fire going, and I just had to tough it out for the rest of the night. I realized some of the mistakes I made. I was trying to be too macho, didn't have any skills, and I tried to improvise too much, and sometimes that can be a bad thing. I realized if I want to go on a bigger trip, I need to get a canoe and not a kayak. I had to drop my hypermasculinity and realize that I don't own the outdoors. I have to work with the outdoors. Nature is my friend and not my enemy. I had to get some skills too, so I learned how to build a fire, tie some knots. I also took a wilderness first aid course, which was eye-opening. I didn't realize how much planning has to go into the outdoors and how much proactive thinking. What could go wrong and how do I deal with that? Had I applied maybe some of this on my first solo paddling trip, I wouldn't have ran into that problem and would have had a much more enjoyable time, although I didn't get a cool story out of it. Needless to say, I learned a lot from that trip, but I hate to say it, it actually isn't the last time I had bear spray in my face. But that's another story for another time. Anyway, this has been Curse of the Kerr, a tale of adventure and blunder. I hope you learned something from this experience. I know I sure did. Bye for now, and I'll see you on the water sometime.